Good morning. Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 20th. Looking at the overall economical calendar, you can see we have some jobless numbers coming out around 8:30. We have a Fed speaker also as well, and another one at 1:45. Tomorrow we have initial inflation expectations. So definitely want to see how that's going to overall affect the overall market. We should get some movement between today and tomorrow. So now let's jump over towards the charts. Let's jump over to the SPY 1 year, 1 day. You can see that the MACD is crossed up over here and we are pointing up in an upward direction. We've been failing to basically break the 1 year, 1 day trade line over here, sitting around 365. You can see a lot clearer on the smaller charts. If we drop down towards the 5 minute, you can see that we basically bounced off of it multiple times and we're basically trapped in another range. So we need some type of news to overall affect the market to push it to either the upside or downside. But right now, until that 1 year, 1 day gets broken, I'm going to be more in favor for upside. You could kind of see a step and staircase pattern start to form over here. Doesn't mean you can't basically go for short positions throughout the day or if the RSIs get overbought. No, it just means that, hey, overall, the trend is more in favor for the upside. So you can see that we do have the step and staircase. Do watch for the break of 370 and 86 cents, and we can start pushing up towards the 180-day SMA sitting at 374, which was a previous resistance multiple times. If we do start to break below this trend line over here and below the trade line of the 1 year, 1 day, which is sitting at 365, and you can see some solid support over here. We could start basically gapping down towards those 360 levels and maybe lower. So let's see what happens. Overall, the 180-day MACD is crossed down in a bearish position, and the 20-day is crossed up, which equals a choppy trading session. Just like we seen yesterday, we kind of had that choppy trading session, and then we start to come down into the close, and then now we're up again. Next stock we want to talk about is going to be a stock that actually had earnings yesterday. It's going to be Tesla. Tesla had earnings yesterday. To my understanding, Tesla basically had good earnings, but I guess it wasn't too favorable for the investors. So the stock started to basically come down. But you can see Tesla has been actually rejecting this 20-day SMA line, that standalone blue line right here is a divider between the chart between bearish and bullishness, and we've been basically more on the bearish side right now. So I want to see what overall happened. It does look like a double top over here. That happened on the 20-day. We did fall and we did get oversold. So we may actually get a possible bounce on Tesla. So let's see what happens. One or two things could happen over here. We could basically sink from 206 to 203. Or to the upside, you want to see a break and hold above 214, which was a previous support zone before, and then we can start basically pushing up towards 223. So let's see what happens. Tesla typically, if you look at its earnings history, a lot of times it has earnings and then it basically starts to come down. This one has actually a reverse where it did have earnings and it basically dropped initially. So let's see what happens. Maybe we get a good bounce. But overall, if we do break that 203 and you jump over towards that 1 year chart or even further, I think you got to go further on this one, even the 3 year chart. You can see after 203 over here, there's a nice gap down towards 180. So nice gap down on Tesla. That's possible. So let's see what happens. Next stock we're going to talk about is going to be the last stock we're going to talk about. Actually has earnings, I believe, next week. That's going to be Meta. Definitely want to stay tuned with Meta, especially with different basically leaders and stuff like that trying to come out with their own platforms, such as I know you guys heard of Kanye trying to come out with his own platform. So let's see what happens. But Meta is shifting its engagement towards the VR space. They do have a new VR headset coming out. So let's see how that's overall going to affect the overall stock. Right now, it has been basically going flat. If I was to basically put a box between Meta for the last few months since September, or since last month, right? Since September, we've been basically going sideways since September. So we need some type of news to drive the stock to either the upside or downside. And I think earnings is going to be that news. So let's see what happens. Need to watch to see if it breaks 134, then we can start going to 138, possibly 145, or to the downside 132. down towards 129, which was a previous support, and then we could possibly go lower towards that 122. Right now, the 180-day is crossed down. RSI is in the neutral position, so it may be more in favor for a drop. Let's see if this 20-day continues to reject that crossover, then we could get even more of a drop. And you guys can see we're already having a bearish descent over here, but it could be a bull flag. Let's see what happens, right? So it's holding that support, could break out over here, or it could break out to the lower side. Let's see what happens, but I'll see you guys in the chat room. Hopefully you guys all have a green trading day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.